Okay, it's 2 minutes past 9 or 3, whatever clock you have. So we have been waiting for 2 minutes. I think it's enough. So we have 41st DevEx weekly Zoom call. Today is the 5th of August, and we have 2 points in agenda. First one is the result of Gross 16 zkSNARK proof verification use cases contest, and second one is our contest queue. About first point, as for me, I can see that we have 4 jury members who voted, and other jury members just voted as abstain. So at least we have some quorum, and following our requirement for our sub-governance, so no any doubts of the results of this contest. If anybody has anything to say, please.
Actually, for my side, I already submitted my comments. So actually, I just had two comments. One of them is that it's highly desired to have all the constraints written in mathematical language. Or in just plain English, but mathematical is more understandable and preferable because it's very hard to go through the code, through the blueprint definitions. It's much easier to check everything at the mathematical level. It says first thing, and the second one is what's going on with the results of this competition. What we're going to do with all these examples, or with all these use cases.
Yeah, so you asked a question in the jury group. So the goal of the overall contest. Let me read it. The goal of the overall contest is very vague, whether it's a creation of set of examples or seeding or future real project or some kind of marketing research. It's hard to judge without clear understanding of the goal. Yeah, Pavel, please.
Yes, thank you. First of all, those topics are quite complex for regular smart contract developers, so that's why cryptography SubGov hopes to be formed in the coming weeks, so very soon.
Pavel, it's really hard to hear you.
I see. Yeah, I'm on the street. I'm on Marata Street, by the way. So, again, cryptography SubGov should decide what to do next. Of course, it would be nice if those use cases will be presented at some point at mainnet with the bot interface. Probably it's not. Probably they are not really usable for real life, but once they will be deployed in production on mainnet, once again we'll merge into mainnet this Gross 16 primitive, then it would be very nice to show and see how ZKP cases can work in the bots. But again, my view that now it is to decide in cryptography SubGov, not in DevEx.
Yeah, it's like exactly first of all, answer the question about blueprint definitions being hard to read. Yes, we're perfectly aware of that. There will be a contest for the implementation of a high level DSL compiler in the cryptography governance, which is, well, the proposal of it was like pushed on the forum, so you're free to take a look at it, to comment on it, to let know, to tell me something's wrong, to tell us something's wrong. That's the first thing. Second thing, regarding the use cases we have gained from this contest. Well, first of all, some of the use case, well, the author of this use case presidency in here already has a special contest for the implementation of production-ready system, which involves kind of the same mechanisms. Well, at least it has kind of the same use cases, right? Well, so I guess every use case we'll be glad to see every use case to be launched as a project if it's possible, or to be like done for, I don't know, for some particular use case for you know, for mass usage. I guess after the cryptography of governance will be approved formally, well, I guess we will be happy to support that.
So do you think it's a good idea to have another contest to, like, I don't know, to make some, to finish these use cases, to make some production ready solution with the user interface, report interface?
Well, I guess for each particular use case, the contest has to be held. There should be held separate contests for, because, well, it's, well, the production ready solution is something highly doubt people will do within some contests which propose simply to finalize these solutions and to launch them as production ready stuff. Well, that's the first thing. Second thing, in case these solutions are suitable and are good to be launched as a separate project, well, I guess there is no need in there. It's like the better incentive to finish that should be the perspective after the project launch than the contest based stuff. Yes, that's the point. But, well, as I said, anyone who wants to finalize and to make their solution a production ready stuff after the cryptography subgovernance is formalized, we're ready to support that, I guess.
Actually, I'm not sure that this particular contest is suitable more for cryptography subgovernances, because as I can see, cryptography part is ready, almost ready. So that we, what is left is like a development part.
Experience. Yeah, okay, I got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well.
So the question is, the society, our community, are we interested to have a real production-ready application inside our blockchain? And are we ready? Are we interested, and are we going to pay for this? This is the question.
It's indeed a question. So, my opinion is that most of course, well, if we're talking about anonymous voting, it's clear, it's really necessary. It's really required for the community, and it should be somehow aligned with these SMV and BFTG efforts that are all going on now. But if we're talking about other use cases, for me, they are to raw, to uncooked, to be ready for immediate usage. They need to be embraced somehow before they can be purchased by particular subgovs.
Yeah, I actually agree. I'm sympathetic to the topics of zkSNARK, zero proof knowledge, etc. But and I'm all for discussing them. But the problem is that they have very little connection with the development experience, and we are discussing them, and we are not discussing any development experience topics. So that's, I think, should be looked into.
Okay. So
Can I answer the question from the chat? It's like Norman asked the question. I guess for some initial set of protocols, until this mechanism is ready, it's possible to hold the MPC setup ceremony like manually. Afterwards, yes, you're right. There is a plan to get a contest for designing and implementing such a formalized mechanism for it's like for handling the MPC setup procedure more formally. It's like not like like people usually do. So yes, but for some initial degree protocols, I guess there will be no other choice but to make it manually. Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Okay. So anybody else could add something for this topic? So I think it would be safe to say that regarding Sergey's proposal, it could be done as an improvement of the future contest inside cryptography subgovernance. So this proposal could be used for future. And about the results for these use cases, so it could be considered, or every use cases could be considered separately as a contest proposal, and then we could decide as a community, are we interested in it, and are we going to pay for production ready solution? Okay, is that correct?
Sounds like pretty much it. Yes.
Okay, cool. So second point is just my report about our contest use. So we have almost ready contest for solidity highlighting. So I hope I will launch it today. And also, what next do we have? And also I'm working on a FreeTON dev network contest. So I want to present the contest proposal ready for discussion till the end of this week. And Sergey, last time when we were talking during DevOps meeting, we were waiting for Mitya to ask him about this contest. Now you have a chance to ask your questions to Mitya. He's here. Sergey? Sergey Tyurin?
I'm here, but I didn't ask anyone.
No,
just was
Sergey
too busy.
Tyurin and I, we had some questions about file data on dev network for you. So like, Sergey, as I remember, we wanted to ask that we need Sergey. Are you here?
Да, я здесь. Я тут немножко отвлекся. Я прошу прощения.
Ну, спроси, Митю, ты хотел спрашивать.
А что спрашивать? FLD надо переводить на Грод 16. Вот, собственно, и все. Весь вопрос. А ты хотел делать на эту тему контест. Для запуска сети нужны пусковые скрипты. Так как у меня подписан NDA, я эти скрипты никому дать не могу. Поэтому вопрос к Мите. По поводу контеста. Будут ли...
Какой контест? Зачем мы на русском говорим?
Сори.
Реально,
Nil
SDA
Foundation,
скрипты?
yes, Nil Foundation actually already did it. I mean, they have a cluster with, they did it by themselves. So, and actually that's the whole point. So Nil network is actually test net for with growth 16. So we should test everything on that network, and yeah.
This network doesn't work at the moment.
Yeah.
It does. It's not network which doesn't work. I mean, that's the problem with the observer. So actually this should be fixed. And I mean, we know that it's soon, but really, how soon? Because
Okay.
Yeah.
No, Pasha, question is not like 2 weeks ago we were discussing that we need some reliable network for Gross 16 development and any other development actually, because sometimes NetConf also is down, and it's the same question.
No. It's DevOps.
Let me finish, please. It's the same question because developers could use Gross 16 instruction, or they could use any other instruction, and they need some network which is reliable. So this means that we could pay for this, and we could ask administrator to make it reliable, to support it, to maintain it. And if they are not doing their duties, we could
Alex, yeah, it's very simple. We already discussed it. There should be a contest.
Yeah, we could finish them.
There should be a contest, but that contest, we decided that it should be in DevOps. It's not our contest. The contest support networks. It could be 3 networks: Nil, Flood, and DevNet. So 3 networks, and DevOps sub-governance can make contest for those who support such networks. So, but again, should we do it in DevEx? The idea was that DevOps should do it. I can go there and push if they're not doing it.
Pasha, what you're saying is obvious. I have a question for Mitya. Mitya, do you have any objections about this contest, or what do you think about limitation about zero block scripts? I mean, the contest, it should be, for example, we could invite Broxus team, we could invite Sergey Tyurin, we could invite, I don't know, R2 team. We could invite
the scope of the contest should be what? The result?
The result is at least 13 or 15 servers with a network, with implemented DAP server, with implemented Gross 16 instruction in this network, and we will pay wasting for every month. And if administrator of the winning network is not doing his job right, we will not pay wasting for this particular month. So we could make a
listen. From my perspective, this is not the objective. Like, we will have a network after Rust Cup ends. We will start a network which will be RustNet. This network will be the main network of implementing all the changes which are described in the white paper, and in like adding all this growth 16 or whatever ZKP instructions. Everything from my perspective should be merged in there. And if like the contest to run this network is fine, except for I don't think there is anyone who can run it, meaning that except for us, because we are developing all these new protocols. Nobody else is doing that, which is totally fine. There will be contests regarding the protocols. So, like, what are you saying? Like, we will run this as a contest that should constantly merge the things that are developed within like other contests to this network. I mean, it's possible. It's kind of administratively maybe a little bit overwhelming, but maybe it's possible. I don't know, but it's not that simple. It's not like just we're launching a contest. This is the node. Like this is a C++ node. There is a growth 16. C++ node is deprecated. You can say that. So like there is no point of that having that contest at all. The Rust network, yeah.
Mhm.
The Rust network has like incredible amount of new protocols. You will see it in the white paper. Include everything changes, like everything, including consensus protocol. There's a new consensus protocol. So like having it right now, the contest that just runs some network with growth 16 doesn't make any sense from my perspective. Like we won't participate in that.
It's not the point. It's not the point that I get. You got to look at that differently. Well, first of all, which node is deprecated and which is not. I guess it's not for the single participant to decide. It's you can deprecate that, but others will probably.
Sorry, Mikhail. Could you?
Yeah. You got to take a look at from a little different perspective on this. Well, first of all, it's not up to you to decide which node is deprecated and which are not. It's up to everyone to decide, I guess, in case you deprecate that.
Up to whom?
All right, it's up to you. Well, that's the first thing. Others, I guess, Proxys files will not deprecate it. Us, we will not deprecate it, and I guess we will even try to maybe put something you've introduced to it.
I'm not, Mish, I'm not against you trying to add these things into the C++ implementation of the node. That is noble cause. I have nothing against that. It's not. I'm not deciding it's deprecated. It's just it will be de facto deprecated if nobody will update it.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm saying that C++ as it is right now, it just won't work with it. It will need to be kind of done, and it cannot be updated within the scope of this contest because this contest they think is something else, right?
Sure.
So that's what I said. I said there will be contests of implementations of these different protocols, and within this contest you can implement it in C++ node. There is no problem with that. If you do that, then we need to take this node and merge it into the network. What I'm saying is that, but to having the network contest right now, without all that, just doesn't make for me a lot of sense.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Apologizes. Well, okay, that's the first point is resolved. The second point about the structure, about the whole structure of those test networks. You see, it's like there are a lot of like test clusters which are being maintained by different development teams. And our test cluster is like, we literally put in there everything we have just developed just to test what's going on inside and how that will work. And that's how we used it before. And for the sake of the contest, we've stabilized that a little bit and did it in a little bit different way. But well, it's kind of us simply showing our internal test cluster to the world just because there was no other one. I kind of support running like some test cluster which would have all the stuff merged in and will be like a test cluster, but it will not have any development in behind it because then it will not have any like any special enhancements from the particular team. I mean, you understand what I'm saying, right?
I'm not sure.
Well, you see, the DevNet of yours is Ton Labs specific DevNet. It's whatever Ton Labs did in the node and launched a cluster on top of it. The Node Foundation Network is specific to us. It's whatever we have put inside and launched it, and it's more or less okay. But there should be some cluster which contains the pre-production features or something.
That's what
like
I said.
this.
That's what I just said.
Yeah,
I just said exactly that. There should be a network which all of these changes that contests produce need to be merged in this network.
Yeah. Agreed.
So,
totally agreed.
So we need to kind of think about a framework how we can support that network from the community tokens, like as a constant backbone for all these infrastructure contests that we will have.
Yeah, totally agreed. Yeah.
Somebody should draft that content. That's the point.
Well, I'm going to draft now a series of contests based on white paper. If someone can have this one, I would be happy, like, not to do that.
Yeah, I can do it, but please, could you explain what is your view on how to support? Because Alexei said that, like let's let somebody and pay them vast amounts. For me, it is a bit weird because actually validators, we can do some conversion of testnet validated rewards into tons. That's, I see the point how we do it much better, because then everyone can join. Michelle, Alex, so it's not like paying to an organized, fully centralized, but it could be done in a way that you received some tokens in testnet, then you can claim and exchange them into tons. That's
a nice idea. That's not a nice idea. Just need to kind of have the distribution of initial tokens not done by like particular, like Zhenya Makarova. Like these tokens then need to be like put all of that into some multisig, and for example, developer subgovernance will sign every transfer of these tokens to validators, something like that.
Okay, I will.
Pavel, your question is like it's a good question, but it's a very few question, like very small question. It's not a problem to invite validators. The problem here is other type. Here we have a problem when network is down, not because of validator, because some other reasons. I don't know, some testing, some bugs, some anything.
That's why we need three networks. That's why we need three networks. That's exactly the point.
And all three are not working. So we need somebody who is motivated by tokens to be fast and to maintain the network in a good way. Because right now,
if you have rewards, you have full motivation to support that network.
Exactly. If you don't validate,
what I'm talking about. We need to make some vesting for the maintainers of this network.
Yes,
so
and that vesting is through conversion. And that vesting is through conversion. So you got rewards as the validator in the test network. Okay, then you go and once a week, like, convert it. Period.
Like developers, bottom line. Yeah, okay. Alex, the point is this. I understand what you're both saying. I'm just saying, as a mediation. The point as Pavel is making basically is the developers will need to run their own nodes on this network and get rewards for this validation. And they themselves, of course, will maintain like the software. That's the idea. Not just to take any validators that will just run the network, but actually to take validators only that will actually participate in the technical contest. It's not just like taking anyone from the street, but someone who can only, Pasha, that's to you, I think, that can only like participators in the contest. They can run these nodes, because the Alex point is correct. If we just take a validator from the street, he won't be able to, like, he runs the validator, that's all he know. If something happens, like a software thing, we don't want to run after him to coordinate the restoration of the network. Like, that's what we have a trouble right now in Rust Cup, because we cannot go to every validator and ask them to give us access to their node when we need to upgrade some software or to see some logs and stuff like that. But then if only developers, and it had to be put in the contest that all the developers who run the node, they will need to run the node, they will get the rewards. But if something happens, they need to cooperate and give them, each other access to the nodes, or circulate the software updates, patches, or whatever, like to restore the network if something happened.
Or generate zero block, or restart the network from the
that's another story. That's the easiest part. Okay, I see your point, guys. I will do a draft. So my question was, should we do it, or should DevEx SubGov do it? But okay, let's do it here, because once all cryptography stuff will go into cryptography subgovernance, and there will be enough time here to do new contests.
It's DevEx.
Actually,
It's
no.
DevEx. I think it's DevEx should do it.
Okay, I
Why
will
do you
draft.
think?
I now understand.
For me, it doesn't matter. It's DevEx or DevOps, but I prefer to do it in DevOps. Why do you think it's for DevEx? Like,
If it's in DevOps, then why we discussing it here? That's the whole point. I mean,
because we
last
are
time-
clients, we are customers. We are customers for this network because we are interested in, to have it.
Then we should
This is
come
the
to
point.
DevOps. Then we should come to DevOps SubGov meetup and talk there. It's open. I mean,
Yeah, we
everybody
did
can come
it.
here.
We did it. But as a customers, we need to create some requirements.
Anyway,
Okay.
I will do a draft, and then we'll see where to put it. Yeah.
You will do the draft, really? Okay.
Yes, it happens sometimes, you know.
Okay. Anything else to discuss, guys, girls?
Yes,
I-
I have a question. Sorry, two questions actually. First of all, that amendment for previous contests, which will allow us to move forward with anonymous token design contest, I mean, which I prepared, and you plan to put it on voting. And I mean, that's the key stuff also, the key voting stuff as well, because we are now waiting for 3 weeks to go to the voting. Did you hear?
We are waiting for 3 weeks for what?
Okay, that ZKT voting contest.
It started now. It's launched.
Really? Okay, I missed it. And what about that amendment for rules, which I prepared? I mean, do you already started it as well? Let me see.
So it should be changes for our SubGov regulations.
I see. Great. Yeah.
So
We'll go to vote now.
we'll go to discuss it and vote. Okay. Okay.
I did. Okay. Did you put it to the vote? Okay, I will see. I will see.
Can I go through it? Because last time you. Okay, let's discuss it between.
You didn't put it. You didn't put it to the vote. Okay, so then please.
No, I didn't. I didn't because it's not.
I see. So okay, you can share screen now.
Not in correct form.
Well, okay. So present then how you would like to amend it.
Okay, give us the link. Where is it right now? Do we have it on the forum?
I sent
To
it
me,
to you.
do we have it on? Cool. I will check it then and put it to the forum to discuss and to prepare it. I will prepare it for voting. Okay. And just because it's not including like SMV stuff that I was proposed last week during discussion, last week discussion. It's not included the.
It's only for
Okay,
the past. It's only for the past. I mean, for the future, we should have another document. I just wanted to resolve that problem we face with unclear rules. So it was only for the past contest. The wording there. That
Okay, send me a link again, then and let's discuss it. What I. Okay, do you have other questions? Or this was two that you had, Pasha?
all for me.
Okay.
I asked previously in the chat That white paper Mitya was talking about, was it already released? Does anyone know?
No, it's not. It will be
Soon.
released. No, it's not.
Sorry,
soon.
sorry.
It's actually done. It's already been shared with some of the members of the community. I just do it selectively for now. But
Why?
I will explain, Alex. I will explain why. Because there are some people who I want to get their feedback first. It's sensitive for me. Like I worked, many months on that, and I just want to get first before I release it to the community to get some, feedback about different aspects of that from like particular member of the community. So I'm sharing that with them. I also shared it with Ton House guys. I said it on the call. Anyone from like media can come to me in private and ask me the access. They came, they asked the access, and they will prepare some cover materials for that. Now, I'm still working on some like edits, English edits, and some language edits, and like I hope to finish this week, like by the end of the week, and by Monday or community call on Tuesday maybe. I will share it with with the community. So it's like days.
But it's not clear. Why didn't you share it right now and keep working on it?
I just explained, Alex. It's my work, and I do it the way I like. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So it's a good explanation.
Sorry about that. Like anyone, if you're writing software, you're deciding when to put it in public. Like
yeah, it's because you want it. Okay, got it. Clear. Because before you can't say that C++ node is deprecated or stuff like this, because we are waiting for Rust node, we are waiting for this white paper, we are waiting and do nothing. So, I mean, it's not, you can't say that C++ node is deprecated until we have anything else and we have a clear plan how we will move.
We have clear plan. We have, it's like we understand it will deprecate. It's not, it's a fact of life. It's not my wish, or it's not that because I think like, this is the design and this is like what it must be. It's deprecated because it's bad. It has security holes, very particular security holes. This design does not work. It does not provide security guarantees. So it's not about my decision, like, oh, my design is better, whatever, because it's not my design.
But in order not to scare anyone, the idea that amendments which you proposed, they are quite moderate in terms of, so it doesn't mean that we should throw away. It's very
well, it doesn't need to be explained. In white paper, it explained everything. Like basically, it explained what is exactly. Why do we talk about that? Like it's not long waiting. Everyone will be able to express their view.
Guys, I have a comment, if I may. The things which happen with Rust node, C++ node, white paper, etc., they should not be blockers for activities related to development experience.
And they're not.
Yeah, please go on. Yeah, we should be able to proceed forward. We have tons of things on our plate which we can and should take care of. Development experience is still desires pretty much to be enhanced. I think we should pay more attention to the real development on blockchain and less to the stuff which is internal to the blockchain mechanics, like nodes and their interactions. That's just my opinion.
Okay, I'm sorry I brought this stuff here. It's just I can say this. I have some excuse that Mitya didn't come to last DevOps call, so this is my excuse, only my excuse for this. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, anybody else? Any topic? Any question for Mitya?
Well, it's kind of AMA.
You're so like visit us. So
I will be more involved now because you understand that like it's this fucking white paper just you know, basically took all my attention for last 2 months and more.
okay, I wouldn't say you that I've heard about this white paper will be published in 2 days 1 month ago, but anyway, let's wait for 2 days more.
I never set a particular date.
Yeah, but on main governance, you told us
Never
end of
until
the week.
now, Mitya, never until now. You said 2 days.
Okay, anybody? Boris, do you have some particular ideas for future contests?
Yeah, well, actually, I rather have questions about what can be useful for the subgovernance and for the developers in terms of placing important pieces of information in the files inside the blockchain. I mean, proposals. It's natural to store a text of proposal or a contest on chain, right? Versus storing them in PDF in Firebase and then comparing hashes when you
Yes, it is.
So basically, what kind of uses do you have, and basically what do you want? Because the thing is, it can be implemented in a few days, if not hours. If you had a file system which could store simple text files, directories, navigate directories, copy files, list them, concatenate together, things like this. Would it be really helpful if you had such a thing in our disposal?
Yes, it will be. Is it the product or what are you working on? And you are
I spent last month working on things like this, and much to my surprise, it works, and it's now in the shape which I could not be really ashamed to show. And I'm more in question what could it be used for be really useful for people, not just for me. For me, it's already really useful and nice, but the question is how to make it appealing to the general audience.
Are you talking about decentralized storage, like
No.
that contest, or something using smart contracts?
Fully on smart contracts. It's fully on chain. Interactive terminal is just like 100, 200 lines in C. Things which can control interaction and make tailor the commands or make files, but all the processing is on chain in several dedicated smart contracts. One stores data like options and text. Another one parses the inputs and passes it to other contracts, which process either state commands or file commands. And then there is a contract which stores it inside in a Unix-like fashion, like a file system, and then synchronizes file caches with other contracts which just read the data and provide all the security checks and produce errors. So that's a like small system of smart contracts which facilitates imitation of Unix file system and interactive command prompt bash-like style. So I just wonder how can it be used in the everyday work.
Just a question: is it read-only or is it permission-based, like the owner can?
It has all the mechanisms for permissions. It's since it imitates Unix, it has inode structure which holds permissions. There is group information, there is owner information, and the checks are not there at this moment, but they can be placed in again in a matter of a few hours of work. And it's intended to be fully multi-user, owner, and with all the permissions check in place. And it's definitely not read-only. It's like it's a lot like basic Unix file systems, not like ZFS or RazorFS, just what has been there in Unix since the beginning, much like that.
Wow, sounds very exciting. When are you going to make it open source? Are you going to publish interface description?
Of course, definitely, all file systems actually should be open source. That's clear. But it right now it changes too much. Like each week, I rework it like fully. So placing it all in open source would be just very confusing. But after some time, definitely so, and it should be worked on by all the community, because it's not a work for one person to make file system operating system. So yes.
And do you have any expectation how much will it cost to keep some, for example, 1 kilobytes of text, 1 megabytes of text?
1 kilobytes, it would be definitely under 1 ton. 1 megabyte, it would be over 10 ton probably.
Boris, no, why do you like it's it's only part of the system. There is like I think it should be hold on before white paper is released. Let's not discuss it beforehand.
Oh yeah, sure. It's just a heads up and just a question to think about for a long period. It's not any thing which should be done before. Yeah, I fully agree.
It depends where you put the data. Like you can put the data on a storage, and in the storage it will cost much less. So it's really like if you think of blockchain as a computer, then file system as a permission and access control over files in this computer. And the storage of these files can be in different places. You can put the file in the memory, you can put file in the disk, you can put file on the tape, and that's all supported. So but let's talk about that later, next week.
Yeah, I fully agree. This is definitely premature to talk about cost of 1 megabyte in terms of in this context before because it's definitely work for a block device, not for a file system.
And my question was about: do you have any ideas for contest in the nearest future?
Sorry, what's the question?
Do you have? You told us that we should do DevEx stuff, and because of this, I asked you: do you have some ideas for contests that we could have in the nearest future?
Actually, that's why one of the reasons I asked this question, because I don't know the answer for myself, because I'm all in this development. But since I kind of uncovered it, maybe someone else has any ideas with other tools or frameworks or utilities which could use this. Like, for example, just if you think of it, you could store all your sources in the blockchain using simple like pull-push interface, but based fully on smart contracts, and store all your sources inside a smart contract using a simple command line interface. That's one of the things which might be useful to people. I don't know.
It looks like I understand. So we could have some kind of like use cases contest for file system, for using file system for a blockchain.
Yeah,
right?
but they shouldn't be originated from, oh, how would I use file system? No, they're like, oh, we have file system. So we could do this and that. We could have, say, forums on chain, or discussions or proposals, comments also on chain, voting also on chain, putting your explanations also on chain. And this can be done really easily because echo comments and redirection using sign more already works, and you can form any text files and copy, move them over the directories, and also symlink links also work. So you can use it on dir and make it visible to other people, like stuff like this.
I mean, could it be like zkPay use cases contest that we had and we are having now? So could we do this the similar way? Are you aware of or not?
Honestly, I have very little knowledge of zkPay, so I'd better not comment and not compare it to this. I'd rather compare it to I use now.
I mean, you don't need to know zkPay. I mean, you have to catch the idea. We made a contest for zkPay for using growth 16 instruction in TVM, and we made a contest for participants to invite some different use cases, which could be like to use this instruction for different use cases. And we had some great ideas, and we will have in the future. And maybe we could do the same thing for file system of FreeTON.
Oh, right. If you compare instruction to file system, yeah, in this regard, yes, kinda, yes.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Not for me.
Other ideas, thoughts, questions? Okay, no, let's do countdown then. 5, 4, 3.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
1, 0. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mita, for coming. Waiting for your next week. Bye.